Well, this time. So, hi, I'm Travis. I'm a master trainer for California Fitness Yoga Center. Basically, I've got a million different jobs, but my two most important jobs are I train clients and I train personal trainers who then train their own clients. So, I'm the source. And I'm here today because I know you guys had some questions. So, I think that's probably a good place to start. I can start talking to you guys about the issues and things like that. But I'm going to have a population, and you guys over here, you can be over here. So, okay, who wants to start? I should say you do. What's your name? Cool. I was that. So, what's your first question? So, that's a good question. First off, there are a couple different things that go on inside your body as far as sugars. Sugar is something, okay, if you think about it from an evolutionary standpoint, you guys all like sugar, right? It's really good, right? I love sugar too. And it's the hardest thing for me to stay away from because evolutionary processes are a little bit behind our way of life right now. So basically, we're still evolved to a level, our bodies are still evolved to a level where we should be able to jump hunting animals with spears and taking fruit off trees and getting in the basement, whatever it is we can get to fuel our bodies, right? So if you think about the things that you really like to eat, like fatty foods, like big delicious pieces of beef, and like nice sugary things, those are the things that are the hardest to get in nature. If you think about sugary sources in nature, and they just aren't that many. You get fruit. That's about it. So when we find sugary things, our bodies are conditioned to want to eat them like we possibly can. That's kind of a bad thing. Because it's so rare, because our bodies aren't really designed to process it very well. Sugar is something you should really cut down to very, very, very minimum diet. Because once it gets into your system, your body doesn't really know how to use it very well. A lot of the time, like you said, you get energy and then you get sleep, you know? So, what happens is when your body takes in sugar immediately, it spikes your insulin levels, which is a hormone that's responsible for a bunch of different processes. And that gives you that immediate burst of energy. But then afterwards, your insulin levels drop really fast. And that makes you feeling hungry, it makes you feeling kind of just tired and a little bit worn out, right? So that's why you need to basically minimize. Because one of the things that insulin does is it uses your body to build more tissue. And before your workout, it's okay to take in some sugars and some simple carbohydrates a little bit, just so you can get that energy to get it to work. Also, because that insulin, since it makes your body build more tissue, will actually make you build more muscle if you're working out. But if you're just eating sugar all the time, then your body's going to build tissue, but it's going to be fat tissue. Because your body's not making muscle. Does that make sense? Now, another actual function of sugar in the system is the sugar that's stored inside your body. There are different forms of sugar, different chemical arrangements of it, basically. And the sugar that you eat immediately has that spiking and dropping effect. But your body also keeps stores of sugar in your muscles and in your liver in the form of what's called glycogen. And that is actually used to fuel muscle processes, things like that. Make sense? Okay. What's that called? Glycogen. And it's the body's main source of energy. So, carbohydrates. Do you guys understand the difference between the macronutrients, between carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and alcohol? Pretty basically, pretty basic stuff. But you guys would be surprised how many of my clients, grown adults, have been all the way through college, have no idea. I say those things and they go, and then I have to watch you an hour-long explanation of exactly what these different things do and all of that. Right? Carbohydrates, as far as your diet goes, you should really try and stay away from the simpler ones like sugars, because like I said, they have that lifting and tuning drop, which your body can't handle very well and then reduces the storage of more fat. If you're going to have carbohydrates, you should really aim to load up your glycogen. The day before, you know you're going to be really active. So you eat more complex carbohydrates, like whole grains, dark bread, things like that, oatmeal, or quinoa, or things like that. And that's going to give you good effects of the carbohydrates without the lifting and dropping for sure. Make sense? Pretty thorough answer, right? So, how about, first, what's your name?
Yeah, head up. Okay.
So, drugs. If you think about that word, right? Pretty much anything you put in your body that has an effect on your hormones or the chemicals and processes inside your body is technically a drug, right? Everything from aspirin to supplements like these to legal steroids, right? Basically, are you asking more about just drugs in general, or are you asking more about the illegal stuff like steroids? That's a highly debated issue within the sport community. I make my judgments based on what the experts say as a consensus. And the consensus is that the drawbacks and side effects of illegal drugs are what make drugs illegal, right? So within, especially the bodybuilding community or high-level sports, like you guys heard of Lance Armstrong and the controversy doing some recently where he was changing his blood oxygen and things like that. There are a bunch of different illegal or questionable chemicals that you can introduce into your body that will have a different effect. As far as steroids go, a lot of weightlifters, guys that make really, really big individuals, use steroids because it's very difficult without the extra help to get that kind of mass, because your body's not really designed to get muscle that big, right? Most, if not all, steroids basically just mimic testosterone in their human structure. With their chemically bond together, it's just like a synthetic form of testosterone. And what testosterone does is it's the boy hormone that makes you more muscular and leaner, and your voice deep, and makes you grow fur on your face, and everything like that, right? So these guys take that because it increases the level of testosterone. But it's got harmful side effects at the same time. It messes up your cholesterol, which can be bad for your heart, your arteries, and everything like that. It can actually shrink your, and cause problems down there. It can make it so that you're sterile. You can't have children. Because your body is a perfect machine, right? It's in so many different ways, it's designed to be a perfect self-contained system. So when you start adding things into it, the body has a reaction to try and keep that balance back, right? So if you put in testosterone, something your body naturally makes, even girls, you guys have a little bit of testosterone in there to build, those sweet, beautiful little girl muscles that you guys have. So when you put that into your system, your body balances it out by creating girl hormone to fight the too-much boy hormone, right? And so you end up with the problem where guys don't like to get those things. So because your body balances it out, they'll actually end up with the opposite of what they want, because the body's reaction is to produce the opposite hormone. Does that make sense? So that's a big twist, is liver damage, because your liver has to process these things, especially with your and adverse the world, they're legal. And every major sporting institution in the world says that they're legal, right? But places like Vietnam, it's becoming a serious problem with the lack of education. People just don't know what hormones or what these steroids do and the bad parts do. And the government doesn't intervene much here. So you can actually go buy steroids at those pharmacies. So we went with a lot of guys, I talked to a lot of guys that were trying to get big, and they're like, well, should I take steroids? No, don't take steroids. They're going to mess your body up for the rest of your life. But as education rises, as people start to really become aware of the drawbacks and bad parts of these things, you're going to see more laws and more regulations. Make sense? Any more questions? Next. In fact, that's my method of being competitive. Honestly, though, the thing is, the sooner you start, the sooner your body's going to start becoming used to physical activity. And if you start, for me, for instance, when I was young, like you guys your age, I wasn't very active. I didn't do nearly as much as I should. Just kind of hung around and watch TV. Because that's what my parents did. And you have an idea, with your mother being a California member, you're already on the right path. Because you see your parents being active, and you see the need for it. All of you guys, in fact, sitting in front of you here, you're learning about these things young. And that's very, very good. By the time you start to be about 14, 15 years old, you guys are going to want to start lifting weights a little bigger. You ladies are going to want to start getting beautiful, so you can have your bathing suits. But adopting healthy habits at the beginning is actually the key. Because your body, when you reach a certain age, maybe 14 or 15 years old, your body starts to mature, going to puberty and things like that. If you set the standard early, your body is going to naturally have a response where it builds the right hormones and things like that, so you'll have all of your potential. So my answer is this: if you want to be competitive, if you want to be a really famous sportsman in any arena, the key is to start early. That way, even if guys that you're competing against are taking illegal drugs and things like that, hopefully they're not, and hopefully if they are, they're going to be busted. But you'll have that advantage of having your natural ability unlocked by starting really. Makes sense? So you can. You look at that way, and that's why they put these laws in place, is to make it fair to you. Makes sense?
Is it possible just to quickly talk about, the kids are really interested in performance side of things and with diet and performance and with drugs and performance, but there's a little bit of confusion around the whole oxygen thing and how the science behind how oxygen works in the body and works in muscles and works in the blood. So can you explain a little bit of that to them? And then after that, when you don't have enough oxygen.
Yeah, okay. So, like I said, your body's a perfect machine. Okay? And your body runs on oxygen. That's why it's one of the main functions of your blood is to transport oxygen around the body. Okay? So, no matter what your goals are, I tell I'm not even promise with this. That clients want to get big. Right?
We're only going to do muscles. Well, I don't care about it, it's doing stuff.
So it's hard to get them the problem, hard to get them to improve their cardiovascular endurance. And so I sit down, I put them in the chair, and I say, okay, we're not going to work out today until you understand these concepts. And then we're really mad by making this really excellent. And what I say goes, if you're going to train with me, I'm going to tell you how it's going to be, right? So I'm letting them know that if your muscles aren't getting the right things that the things that they need, the right nutrients, and especially oxygen, they can't grow, right? You've got a couple different processes in the body. You've got your aerobic and your anaerobic system of processing oxygen, processing energy, getting the muscle to move. Basically, anaerobic means without oxygen, and anaerobic means with us. Make sense? Do you guys understand these concepts? Is this still on the right lines? Okay, what specific questions do you guys have regarding these things? Because I can launch into a big long explanation of it. Or if you guys have more specific questions specific with these. She looks like she's got a lot of specific questions. She's sitting up with specific questions. Okay. Hold on for a second. Does anyone have anything related specifically to?
So what happens when you exercise and you're not getting enough oxygen? What starts to happen to your body?
Your body begins to actually kind of shut down a little bit. Your muscles start to, since they're robbed of oxygen, there's a risk of your body going into a catabolic state where you start to eat muscle fiber. Basically, you start to die. Your muscles begin to starve, right? Do you understand? It's a deeper level than that. You don't really feel it. Like, your muscles feel like that. And they can't work as well. So they fatigue a lot faster. They start to break down a little bit on the inside. They're not able to effectively work or move out waste matter. The whole process of the muscle just kind of starts to cascade breakdown. Makes sense?
So if they were exercising a lot, what would be some of the things that they notice when they're running around the pool or running around there on the side? What would they notice?
So, like I was talking about before, your muscles need the right fuels to move. Something that you'll feel if you're deconditioned is you'll start to feel cramps in your muscles, where the muscles, because they're unable to continue to work for lack of oxygen, they start to do this, and you might fall down or just stop being able to do what you're doing, or you'll feel an intense burn inside the muscle because one of the byproducts of muscle action is called lactic acid, and it builds up inside the muscle. If it builds up too much without your body being efficient at removing the waste, it'll actually start to burn the muscle and shut it down. But at the same time, this is what stimulates growth and development. So what you need to do is you need to really condition your muscles to get used to long levels of activity and high levels of output as soon as possible, like I was saying. So that these fatigue issues don't become something that limits your ability to perform. Make sense? The more your body gets used to something, the stronger your body gets and the better your body gets at being able to carry out the process. So, actually, stand up really quick, guys. Let's try this. So, I'm going to do, actually, come over here. And I want you guys to do, those of you aren't and way back, right after that. And my kill starts because I started out with here in the middle of my back. Kind of not doing active stuff. My drill sergeants saw that and they're like, you take care of this guy. So they started doing awful things, making me do terrible, tiring things to just build my level of ability, right? I don't know if you guys think, but when you try my favorite thing, my drill sergeant will say, what a rest. Go sit in a chair. And he'd say, put your feet directly underneath your knees, put your low back against the wall, and just sit there. And they're like, what are you doing? So, give it a shot, guys. Try it out. You guys are going to feel, this. It's going to hurt. So put your feet up. What's it hurt? How's it feel, guys? How's it feel? You burn a little bit? Good. Tell me, start telling me the things you guys feel. Right. Now, what are the muscles that these are the things that you guys are going to start to feel from this kind of exercise is called isometric. And there are three types of muscle contraction. Right? There's concentric, there's eccentric, and there's isometric. Concentric is like contracting. Eccentric is stabilizing as you relax the muscle. And isometric is what you guys are doing right now. It's actually the hardest and the best illustration of the point. When you're doing isometric action, the muscles aren't really moving, they're just holding, right? So the tendency is for the waste matter and things like that to come from the processes that make the muscles work, to build up inside. Go back to the wall. Good. Shouldn't be really much now. Start to run low on oxygen, run low on their glycogen stores, start to build filled with waste matter. This is how it feels, okay? That's exactly what we're going for. You get the same feeling from high level exertion, right? If you're running really far or you're performing long distance activities, you can push that off just a little bit. Because as your muscles work, the blood pumping in and out of the muscle are actually moving. And like I said, since you're running a circuit machine, it's made it pump. Pushes things out that it doesn't want to hold in things that it moves, right? So, does this illustration point pretty far? The better you condition yourself, the more efficient your body can be in these processes. And the longer you're going to be able to hold out and the drill stretching stuff is in your chair. So let's go get some more. Nutrition. You guys have any questions about nutrition specifically? What kind?
If you're up to me, you have to put on the first names.
Yeah.
If you are left to me, how would you feel in first names of
Maybe we could push that out a little bit. If you decide or are allergic to certain types of foods, how do you get the vitamins and proteins you need?
Other vegetarian.
He's like a vegetarian.
But it's a good question. If you know what you need, how can you get vitamins and nutrition?
This is actually where these things come in. Okay? So, basically over time, humans have evolved to be actually one of our greatest evolutionary strengths is the fact that we picked up the trait of being omnivorous. Omnivorous. Explain to this young man what omnivorous is. omnivorous means you eat everything. Like bears are story omnivores, right? A bear will eat pretty much anything. A pig will eat pretty much anything. A dog will eat pretty much anything. That's the evolutionary strength of these animals. We've taken it to another level. Beyond being just basically omnivorous, we'll eat pretty much anything, our bodies can process pretty much any nutrient source. We, after we broke free of something called non-nutrient trap, which I'm going to do with you guys, got to the point where we can actually produce a surplus. And like I was talking about before with the sugar thing, where we're able to have access to any food we want. We've gotten to the point of sophistication in our diet where we can make decisions like, you know, I just don't think it's right to eat animal. Or, I don't feel so good when I eat these things, I'm going to find out what's choices. And we actually have the freedom to do that. So, let's deal with protein first. Like I said, your body's a perfect machine. But, physics tells us. You guys take any physics yet? Okay. Well, when you go into physics, what you guys are going to learn is that matter can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only change shape. Right? Like if I took this water bottle, I drank all the water's not gone. The water's in me being distributed as different nutrients in my body. Then if I take this water bottle itself and I get a torch and I burn the bottle down to nothing, the bottle doesn't disappear, it just turns into particles that float off, right? It's pretty easy to understand. Now the same process happens inside your body. If you want to build muscle, and even you ladies want to build muscle, I promise. Because when you hear the word tone, that's a term that the fitness industry made up to sell women muscles. Pretty sneaky, right? Because of our hormones, when girls get out of all, it sold me something. When your body builds muscle, you guys build tone. When you guys build muscle, you get muscle. Like Charles, big muscle, you know? To do that, you can't create muscle out of nothing, right? You have to have what muscle is made out of, put it into your system so that your system can distribute it and turn it into muscle, right? So, what I'm getting at with this big long trip around the corner here is the fact that you need certain nutrients in certain amounts to be healthy. So, if you make a dietary choice, like you don't want to eat meat or you're allergic to a certain thing, you have to find different sources for it. All you have to do in that case is find out what it is you need from those sources that you can't have or you've chosen to avoid, right? In the case of protein, using that as an example, beans, using that as an example, we need to understand that there are two different types of proteins that you'll eat. Okay? There are what's called complete proteins and incomplete proteins. You guys heard that term before? Yeah, so, let's explain what that is. Easy. You think about that, it sounds a little complicated. So then you know what proteins are, right? Proteins are made up of what are called amino acids. Okay? And if you've got all of the requisite amino acids together, then something is considered a complete protein. Your body can use that to build muscle, like meat, or fish, or chicken, or quinoa, or tofu. These are all great sources of what's called complete protein because it's got all of the amino acids that it needs your body can build muscle, right? But if you've got something like beans or even rice, that's protein, you start running into issues where we're nuts. You start running into issues where you've got this protein and you've decided not to eat meat or you're allergic to meat. But it's not a complete protein. It doesn't have all the necessary pieces in it for you to build your muscle. So what you have to do is you have to think about it deeper and you say, okay, well, if the amino acids are what I want out of the protein, then I have to make sure that I get a good nutrient profile out of it. And I look at these different, I think they're coming together fast. Yeah, look at it and say, okay, well, this is what I need from this nutrient source. I just have to find proteins that are different, right? And together we combine them, we can get something unique. In this case, like I said, amino acids. So you say, okay, so this source beans has these certain amino acids, but black beans does. Right? I'll find a pairing, like rice, that I put with it, that together they make a complete protein. Does that make sense? And you do that with anything, with any bit of nutrient that you're lacking in your diet. If you can't get it from sources that you approve and that you eat regularly, you just have to figure out what it is that you're getting from that and find other ways to get it other places. Makes sense? A good way to make sure that you're getting all of the nutrients you need is to take a multivitamin. Because that kind of covers all your bases. And most multivitamins are, I mean, they're when your children multivitamins too. In fact, talk to your parents about finding a good quality multivitamin. That basically covers all your bases. They make sure when they give you a multivitamin that it is a multivitamin. It's got all these different things they decide to eat in your diet. But it doesn't have them in amounts so that if you're already getting a little bit, it's going to be too much. Right? So just make sure you're covered. Easy way to go about it.
Though sometimes the like you're not as good as the actual food.
Right? Right? The ideal source is, of course, real whole foods, right? Which is a big problem in society because, like I said, since we've evolved to this point of being able to produce a surplus of food, produce whatever food we want, but we end up with a lot of foods that don't have a whole lot of substance, as I'm sure you guys know. I'm from America, one of the worst nutritional places on the planet. In America, they want it to taste good. And that's it. Now, health food is becoming a craze. We're getting really excited about what it is that goes into food. But for the most part, you get foods that are just easy. They don't have any nutritional value. They're just sugar and some stuff to make the sugar stick together or feel good in your mouth. You know what I mean? Really gross. So, try to really take an interest now in building a good diet, building a good plan, knowing what your body needs, identifying those things, just making them a part of what it is you eat. That way, by the time you get to Charles' age, like 72, he wears it very well. It's not going to be a struggle. You're not going to have to be like, oh, I have to eat these things. If you guys start now, identifying what it is your body needs and what makes your body feel better and work better, you just make that habit and you're good to go. Makes sense? But, just in case, I would still advise taking that multivitamin. Now, another point on this is not all multivitamins are created equal. Right? If you find a multivitamin that is good, what it's going to be is a time release. Okay? Because a lot of the time, you take a multivitamin, it dumps all those nutrients in your body in one shot. And a lot of them conflict. They get in your body and they can't absorb right. So you feel this sick feeling all of a sudden, right? Because you're not digesting, you've got all this stuff in your system that's not going into the right place. So look for something that's going to be time released so that the nutrients don't conflict with one another and are absorbed by your body at the right rate. Make sense?
Time release multivitamin.
Time release multivitamin. Building good eating habits from the start by identifying what your body needs and just going with it. Is that up? What else do you have more specific? Along those lines. Actually, another good idea is supplements. Okay? Now, the difference between performance-enhancing drugs and supplements is pretty big. Right? They even say, fueling athletes safely. Because a good supplement company, these guys are great. Your brother's a smart man. The thing is, there are 3 elements to success in fitness. If you want to be a sports star, you got to get 3 things right. You got to have a proper diet, you got to have proper training, you got to have proper supplementation. I mean, that's oversimplifying it. There are many other things you need. But I guarantee every famous athlete you guys can think of, every movie star you can think of, every person you can think of has to have a good, fit body. Probably takes a supplement. At least 1 or 2. I would say those. sad because I just ruined my liver, right? The same thing happens if you're pouring a bunch of crappy food into your system. Sugars and processed things and nastiness. It's like pouring cooking oil in your engine, right? It's just going to gum up the works and make everything stick together and not work. Make sense? Now, that's why I say diet first. Diet is the most important part. In fact, if you guys don't want to get fat or unhealthy or just have bad issues with your body in general, and you can only do one thing, I would say diet. If you can't make it to the gym, if you just for some reason can't exercise, you take a little supplements to help your progress. At your age, supplements really aren't that big of a concern. Because like I said, you're not at a level yet where you're going to be pushing your body that hard. You're not done growing to the point that you can actually start building your adult bodies. But down the road, something to think about. Talk to your brother. For right now, really start building those good dietary habits. Okay? Next is training. For you guys, I would say just get out and get active as far as training. Okay? Because there are things going on with your skeletons. Your growth plates are still in motion. Your bodies are still maturing into their shape that they're going to be when you grow up. And if you start pushing your bodies too hard now, like you start working out with weights, like if you went to the weight room with your brother, you end up being really short like Charles because it would mash your body.
He is not short.
He's so short. In America, he's short. Everyone in America eats coffee. So there are different bad things that will happen to your bodies if you guys are trying to push with weights and things like that right now. So what I would advise is start once again building a healthy habits. Okay?
What can I do?
You can do all sorts of fun things. You can get out, play sports. You can start climbing things. We've got actually at our gym, we've got a climbing wall that I've got young clients, and it's so cool. We strap you into a harness, we put a rope to it, and we throw you over the wall. And you climb up this wall, and it's really cool, and it's really good for your body. It builds strength, and it builds endurance, and it gets you happy about exercising. It builds that psychological bond with the good experience of physical exercise. Start conditioning yourself now. So that way,
Sports.
And throw us up.
we throw you up. What we do is we've got a thrower, and we've got a pump. So we put the harness on you, okay? We wrap the rope through it, and the thrower goes, throws you, and the rope guy goes, pulls on the rope, and you go, and you're on the wall. It's really cool. And then you just climb up, okay?
Sports, you like sports?
Yeah.
What sports do you like? Yes, and you?
No sports. Take her out to basketball.
Skateboard, swimming, surfing.
Skateboard. That's a character group activity.
Yes.
Anything that gets you guys out and gets you active. Okay? And third, once you get to the point where you're actually performing on an adult level, your body's going to have extra needs because of the demands you place on it. And not because you've decided to not eat certain things or whatever, things like that, just because you're placing a higher demand on your body, you got to put those nutrients in there at higher levels. So some things like discipline. These are completely safe. Something that a lot of people in America and in Vietnam ask me is, so what are the side effects? So they hear bad things about like drugs, performance enhancing drugs. In fact, they do it a lot. If you do it safely and all you're doing is putting in the right nutrients, minerals, things like that that are going to help fuel your body, there are no negative side effects. We have to be smart about it. You have to do your homework. Once again, you have to know what it is your body needs. Well, I brought with me today 3 things that we carry. These are great for active adults. Okay? And these are good examples of things that are, like I said, non-harmful, completely safe ways to supplement your active lifestyle. Okay? First off, if anyone trains with me, they've got a bottle like this. first off, I'm one of the most expensive trainers at my gym because I know I'm going to provide quality service. And I've been doing this for like 9 years. Second, if you're not getting results, that looks bad for you, right? So, since you're spending all that extra money, and you're a walking billboard for my services, I have to make sure that you're getting the results you need. So this is a non-negotiable. This is protein powder. It's got in it, first, complete proteins. It's got in it the things that your body needs to build muscle. Christmas. So, first off, the reason I like Muscle Farms products is they don't really mess around. Like, when you guys go to the GNC, they try and sell you a bunch of different things, a bunch of different packages. It's just kind of a racket. But these guys, they sell you a bunch of the things that you need in one product. They know, like I was saying, they know how things are absorbed, they know how the body uptakes these things. It's no awfulness to these. It looks like paper. This one's the only one that's completely okay. Actually, this one, the aminos are completely okay. It's just got the protein, things like that. This keeps coming. So these are the leaders, basically. I think
We might get tasting yes.
after all,
They're tasting on the
you can smell it. You can shake it. You can look at it, but no taste. Now, this stuff is great because it's a high-grade protein. And there are 5 different kinds of protein. Right? It's orange creamsicle. It's my favorite flavor. Now, it's got 5 different kinds of protein, 5 different sources of protein because they know that your body takes protein at different rates. So what this does is it helps you feed your body all day long. So you're eating, you take that, and it helps you feed your muscles all day long. Because what happens when you're working out is you create small tears in your muscle fibers, and the proteins and amino acids flood in your blood and go immediately to the places where you're damaging your muscles, and they start to repair things. And because they're complete proteins, the things your muscles are made of, they just fill in the holes, right? Like imagine your blood being full of a bunch of workers, and they went in there, and they've got bricks made out of this stuff. And they throw the brick in there, and they slap it with some concrete, and they smack another brick in. That's exactly what's happening with these 2 products. So, it's also got things in it like glutamine, which help your body absorb more. At a sitting, you can only absorb maybe about 30 or 40 grams of protein. So, this is actually one of the best products on the market because it's designed to not just give you the things you need, but help you to absorb food, right? And that's what you guys want to advise your parents or whoever you end up talking to about this to look for, is complete supplements, complete nutrition additives. Make sense? What are the questions? who just worked out a deal. I've been taking this since I got here. And in California, just worked out a deal with these guys and we started carrying these at the gym. So I was lucky enough to be able to grab these on the way out the door for you guys as examples. So that one's got protein, glutamine, and some branched chain amino acids, these aminos in it. This next is our aminos. Like I said, aminos, they complete your protein. So if you've got incomplete protein in your diet, these aminos will go in and help complete that protein so you can use the protein to build muscle. Also, what they'll do is, because when you're creating those tears in your muscles, they really are tears. When you take a piece of paper and tear it, it's going to be a lot different than if you take a piece of paper and cut it, right? You cut it, you can take another flat piece of paper to put right up against it. You're good, right? If you tear it, you got to find stuff that fits in that jagged tear and makes it open if you want to have a really complete piece of paper, right? What these aminos do is, since they're bits and pieces of proteins, they go into the blood system like their bloodstream like this. And they're floating around with a lot of those little workers has it. And he goes, when he jams it up against that torn muscle, that broken protein chain, and immediately completes it, right? So it puts your body back together and makes it so you're not so sore after you work out. You guys ever get sore from doing the physical thing?
Yes.
Like from now on, he's going to take you guys and you're sitting against the wall when you're bad.
But usually only the next day.
Right? Your body takes time to process it. Your body takes time to register the fact that you had these injuries, and it takes time to start putting itself back together. When you're exercising a lot, it's not the next day, it's the day after that. And you run into what's called delayed onset muscle soreness. My clients, they'll send me text messages after a really hard workout, and they're saying, they're going to hit by a truck. And I'm like, just wait till tomorrow. And the next day, they send me one, they're like, I can get out of bed all day. And I'm like, but that's what happens. Your body takes time to start putting itself back together. And as it does, you get into inflammation, your body swells up in certain areas and things like that. Just trying to fix this.
What can I do to make it not so painful?
You can supplement. Taking proper supplements, but for you guys, what you can do is you can make sure your nutrition is good. If you guys know you're going to be really active, something you can do the day before is have some high quality carbohydrates. Load your bodies up on that glycogen I was talking about.
Stretching helps.
Stretching helps some. The thing is, you guys don't want to stretch right before you exercise because they've had recent studies that come out. Like, say for instance, I stretch my quadricep. And I stay stretched because when you do static stretching, you should stay for 30 seconds. You should get there, come to a place where you're uncomfortable and hold it for 30 seconds. Okay? Static stretching. To a certain extent. Now, if you want to just warm your muscles up, like say before you guys go out and play sports, what I advise, what I've got the best results with, and what I've read the most studies about, is just simple warm-up stretching. You can stretch a little bit just to take the tightness out of the muscle, but then release it. Mainly what you want is to move the joints and stretch just a little bit, nothing jerky or hard to damage the joints, but just enough to loosen the body up a little. Because if you hold it at length for too long, your muscles are like rubber bands. Okay? What happens if you take a rubber band and hold it out like this? It'll either snap or it'll stay out. Yes, it'll stay like that. You take a rubber band that's this big and you stretch it out like this and hold it for like 5 minutes, and now it's like this big. Right? Like, I used to have really long hair, and then hair ties. I'd tie my hair up in a ponytail, and after about a week, I'd have to get a new one because it was all stretched out, right? But that's what happens to your muscles when you stretch before you exercise. They get pulled so far that they're no longer strong enough to effectively work the joints. Make sense? And then what happens is they break. When your muscles break, it usually happens around the joints, or sometimes in really extreme cases across the middle. You get a really bad injury and you can't play basketball. Or your kick flip doesn't work because your quadriceps makes sense. So if you guys want to warm up before exercise, that's great. Stretch a little bit, you know. But if you hold it for too long, know that it's going to weaken your muscles and it's going to make you a little less able to perform. Make sense?
What's Oscar? You got a couple on the couple of your top ones that you wrote down.
As far as exercise goes.
Oscar's more concerned about the steroids leading drugs. So what sort of things are out there in school in the area?
Okay. Basically, you get a few different things. The most prevalent, like I was saying, were, and let's add this. The most prevalent are testosterone replacements. Like I said, testosterone is mainly responsible for building your muscles, right? Most bodybuilders, at some point or another in their career, end up using steroids. And that's why they crack down so bad, because it's terrible for your body. You ruin your liver, it causes infertility, it causes a big string of awful things that happen in your body.
Is it true that you get very angry from too much?
I really also affect your mood. And you guys have heard of roid rage?
You get very angry.
You got this thing called roid rage. I remember this last gym that I presented. It was this big guy. And I always used to call him the Buffalo because he was one of those guys that comes to the gym on fish. He goes looking for a big weight, he makes he's spewing sweat all over the place. He's got zits all over his back. He wears one of those shirts that has no sleeves and it comes down to here, so you see all the big bulgy muscles and everything. And he came in one day and he was doing his workouts and he set his weight down and he moved over and this little old man, and this little old man goes over and sits on this leg machine that the Buffalo has set his weight next to. And the Buffalo's weight is like right there, right? And this old man is sitting there and he's extending his legs, you know, minding his own business. The Buffalo comes over, and because the guy's almost touching his waist, the Buffalo starts screaming. The little old man looks up at the Buffalo and goes, but in a sense, it was sad. Because I could see this thing happening. I knew that the old man was probably going to die if the Buffalo decided to try to punch him, right? But I knew that the Buffalo was kind of experiencing something he couldn't control, because he was on steroids.
And that's too much love.
Too much testosterone.
So too much protein will not do this.
No, too much protein is not an issue.
Too much testosterone from the steroids.
Things like this, one of the reasons they're safe is all these things I'm talking about with bad drugs that can be used, there are no interactions, there are no side effects like that. Testosterone ruins your mood, it'll give you pimples all over your back, it causes your body to react in ways to try and achieve that balance. Because your body always wants homeostasis, it wants a balance between all the chemicals that it's got happening, right? So the biggest effect of any of these things that we're about to talk about is your body's going to naturally either fight against it in the case of too much of something that it already created in your body, or at the very least, it's going to go, oh, well, I guess I've already got enough of this in my system. I don't need to make any myself. So with testosterone, a lot of the time these guys who use steroids, they'll use them for years. They'll cycle steroids, cycle steroids, cycle steroids, cycle steroids. They're constantly dumping too much testosterone into their systems, and their body just stops making testosterone. So as soon as they stop taking the steroids, they go. Like, you guys been watching anime? Alright. You know the anime? Like feeling. So, you know, at the end of a good science fiction anime, you've got that crazy scientist that's found a way to turn himself into a big monster, right? And the hero, like, breaks the machine. And as soon as he breaks the machine that's keeping him in the monster state, he goes, and he turns back into the little tiny scientist guy, right? That's what happens. Your body stops producing this hormone, testosterone, that you need because you're flooding your body with synthetic testosterone. So as soon as you stop taking it, It's like someone broke your machine. You turn it down to a wimpy, internal maintenance guy, right? You don't. That's why you don't take steroids. Like I said, you open your body's ability to keep that homeostasis, that natural balance within. One second. Now there are a few other things in this facility, like DHEA or HGH or different things like that. Human growth hormone is something that actually, as it kind of sounds like, is the human growth hormone, right? You guys are about to get a massive dose of HGH in the next few years. So your bodies are going to change and get bigger. Folks like you, we're going to grow to be about Charles' height, you know. Guys like this, we're going to rock a big giant legs for skateboarding. You guys are going to change in ways that are going to make you adults, right? Well, these guys have found a way to isolate this human growth hormone and turn it into a drug. So they start injecting human growth hormone into their already adult bodies, and they start becoming freaky monsters, right? Now this causes all kinds of problems with your different growth regulating glands in your brain and your body. Once again, you end up with imbalances where your body stops producing these things, or your body produces the opposite of these things to try and balance things out. Also, people take things to deal with thyroid. Another goal of you guys is to become super skinny. They get really big muscles with zero body fat, so they start to mess with the regulation of their thyroid. Now, to any of you guys, does it sound like a good idea to start messing with your body's natural processes in that way? You guys do? Does it sound like a good idea to any of you guys to mess with the processes your body is naturally carrying out? Right. So any of these drugs, when people say, well, what's wrong with it? What's the bad part about it? Well, it's messing with what your body is doing, right? It's messing with, interfering with the processes your body naturally has to play. The best you want to do is to feed your body the right things to make these processes work more efficiently, right? But if you start giving your body things that it already makes to make these processes happen in the first place, like these different hormones that they inject in their bodies, you risk seriously damaging your health for the rest of your life. That makes sense? Also, then there are other additives like they refer to as doping. Like if you guys said you heard of Lance Armstrong, where he was adding oxygen to his blood, he was adding different elements that would help the blood hold more oxygen, things like that. Those are illegal, not so much because they were harmful, but because they provide an unnatural advantage. Like you're saying, if you want to become a famous sports star, you have to take these drugs. Ideally, you don't. Because you've got these regulatory committees and things like that, the anti-doping commission, the people that caught Lance Armstrong, but they're shutting these things down. Some of those things aren't necessarily inherently harmful. Like what Lance Armstrong was doing, it's not going to ruin his health over time, but it's going to give him such an advantage that it's not fair. It's not fair for him to keep things to other people. So he's not right. It's cheap. But most of these things that these people are doing are going to have a negative health effect. Like you guys, for instance, you guys wouldn't want to do what Lance Armstrong was doing. It's not necessarily going to harm his health over time, but unless you're like